ich bin Hannah und willkommen auf meinen YouTube channel. Probably that's the worst German you ever heard. Well, I don't speak German, I just have a German fever right now. Originally, I want to speak Bahasa Indonesia in this YouTube channel because that's my first language. But I just feel the need to speak English here so dark fans from all over the world could enjoy this video too. For my Indonesian friends or friends from other countries, if you are more comfortable with your own language, please turn on the subtitle. Alright, let's go to the explanation right away.
Throw down your hands, give me a sigh, put down your light.
Wait, this is not my intro. Dark as the title. It captures perfectly the anxiety, depression, and the tension on the story and each character. There are some people who seem to know what's going on, but the story always took a perspective of those who don't know what happened. Since the first season, it always made us question what is actually going on. The answer to our questions only led us to even bigger questions. From the previous season, we are wondering, who is this new Martha? Is this a loophole that Adam always talks about? Or has this always happened? The season 3 explained that the new Martha is from the other world where Jonas didn't exist, as known as the Eve's world. Well, actually, Claudia already gave us a hint that the world without Jonas is no better in the previous season.
Sie ist nicht das, was du erwartest.
And yes, this is always happening. A loop, either Martha went to Adam's world and took Jonas or not, is a war between two worlds which cause a never-ending misery. Basically, the second season is the story about Adam's world, and the third season is the story about what's going on in Eve's world. And from the previous season, some of us also wondering, is Adam really Jonas? Or could it be someone else? This season explains that he is really an old version of Jonas. How he turned into beast like that because of so many failed attempts in order to create the time machine. The most interesting part is how this series led us to the third world. Yes, I didn't expect this as much as Adam didn't expect it to happen. When he killed Martha and the origin in the womb, he thought it will be the end of the cycle and everything is ended for good. But then, oh no, I'm still alive. The third world is actually the original world where the original House invented the time machine for the first time. He was so in grief because his loved ones died. There is no Charlotte in the original world that could heal his pain. So he created the time machine and accidentally created the two parallel worlds, the Adam's world and the Eve's world that we knew. They need to prevent them to die so House wouldn't have the desire to turn back the time. The triquetra has always been an important symbol in the show, but Adam and Eve interpreted it as a human lives three lives. The first one ends with the loss of naivete, the second ends with the loss of innocence, and the third ends with the loss of itself. But the fact is, the triquetra is not only about the time, but also about the three-dimension world. It is a wisdom we already know that the world is not only black and white, or light and shadow. Here, both sides are simply wrong. Both sides naturally assume that they're the right ones. Both sides want to create a paradise. Both sides had a lot of sacrifice and miseries. We forgot that this show always took the perspective of those who actually don't know what's going on. We thought it's about Adam and Eve because we are successfully immersed in their war. So here, we are underestimating Claudia. I think the triquetra also explain about three travelers, Adam, Eve, and Claudia. Now Adam and Eve are entangled in a knot, and Claudia is not. Adam represents the world where Jonas exists. Eve represents the mirror world where she and her son, the origin, exist. But Claudia, the third traveler, represents the third world as known as original world where she exists and her daughters there and healthy. They ignore her so much that Eve doesn't notice it when the prime Claudia replaced the mirror Claudia. Eve doesn't even pay attention because she thinks it's a fight between her and Adam and completely disregards Claudia's significance. She was in fact equal to both of them, and the only one who is capable of looking beyond her own plan and agenda and see the bigger picture. The scene when Jonas and Martha travel to the original world and stop for a little while in the time-dimensional space, this reminds me of the fifth dimension of Interstellar. In Interstellar, they put them there in purpose so they could find the right time to fulfill the destiny. We're not sure who is they. But in Dark, I think the God or higher being is definitely the time itself. It controls the world. No matter how much the man wants to change and against it, the time won't allow it. As Adam said, a man can do what he wills, but the man cannot will what he wills.
One of my friend questioning why didn't Claudia herself stop Tenhouse's son if she had all the knowledge?
I think because it was important to remove Martha and Jonas from their created two worlds and make them enter the original world. They need to make them absent from their world and make them change the original world where finally their bodies will start to decay and causing their other version to vanish, as well as the parallel world. If Claudia would have stopped Tenhouse's son, the young Martha and Jonas would still alive. As Adam and Eve always said, if the pieces are in the right place, no matter how things and circumstances occurs, but the cycle will repeat every time no matter what. Well, maybe Claudia already tried by herself, but it didn't work. So it was important to change the position of the two pieces who were creating the two worlds in order to break the knot. So, as we can see, the ending is bittersweet. In the original world, they are gathered, Jonas and Martha never exist, but Claudia is healthy and everyone seems happy. While Jonas, Martha, and the other characters are sadly gone. But at the same time, they didn't need to feel more pain and suffer all over again.
There are questions that remain mysterious to me. How Waller got his accident?
Either eye or hand, with or without the parallel worlds, he still got that accident. When he was about to explain, then suddenly they got distracted by the lights out and thunder. Is it really mean something? As if the time doesn't let him spoil it.
Or it's just a gimmick?
The second thing is when the apocalypse about to happen. Hannah from Martha's world got bleeding. Suddenly, Aegon appeared. What does it mean? Is it Aegon from Eve's world? Because we know Hannah never traveled back to the past in Eve's world, and the history of her and Aegon also never happened there. If he's the Aegon from Adam's world, how could he reach there? He died right after he knew about time travel stuff. And what's going on? Are they travel somewhere and create another loop? That could explain why Hannah in the original world got a deja vu about the apocalypse because it is still happening somewhere in the parallel world. What we know is a drop, what we don't know is an ocean.
I hope it's not, because it's so tiring to see them in a never-ending loop of miseries like that.
For me, I want to believe that the ending is the bittersweet ending that is happening in the original world. No more parallel world exists. Even though Hannah from the original world named her baby Jonas, it doesn't mean that he will be Jonas that we know, because the father is not Mikael but Waller.
That's from me! I think we are all agreed that this is a really great show. This ending and the season finale is very well executed. To be honest, I was afraid that this ending would be disappointing because the first season and the second season was really fantastic. You know, when you have higher expectations, sometimes it led us to disappointment, right? But Dark is totally amazing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm sorry if my English was not perfect, as taught me right. Yeah, I think I will learn German. Well, I hope to see you guys on the next video. Tschüss!